but we have to pay for all of these things.
Democratic Majority Whip James Clyburn was on MSNBC with Chuck Todd, where he was asked about Pramila Jayapal's Paycheck Guarantee Act. So the Paycheck Guarantee Act, I covered this earlier in the week. It, if passed, it would cover 100% of paychecks up to $90,000 a year, and also guarantees benefits, including health care. Now, Jayapal was not able to get this into Pelosi's bill, and Clyburn was asked about this, and watch how he responds.
Final question I have for you is on what we're seeing with the big bill that you guys introduced yesterday. And on one hand, you're getting hammered on the right. It's a liberal wish list. But you also have some progressives upset. For instance, you didn't include Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal's idea of trying to have all payrolls or try to cover almost some payrolls for some businesses. So what do you say to the left that feels as if, well, if you're doing a laundry list bill, let them have some more on it, too, since this is going to be a long, drawn-out negotiation anyway?
Well, I like our bill myself. Paycheck guarantee is great. And I think doing it this way is an efficient way to do it. In fact, I think it's the most efficient way to do it. But we have to pay for all of these things. And when you're passing a bill, trying to take care of state and local governments, that's primary with us. Trying to take care of those people that we named the bill after, the heroes, those essential workers, the people I just talked about. When you're trying to make sure that they're taken care of, then you look at the other things. And we just got to the point where the bill just got too big. Now, there are things in this bill that will lay a foundation for us getting to what Ms. Jayapal and others will want to get to. And I'll include myself in that as well.
All right. This is so absurd. I mean, it's easily taken down. The idea that they don't have the ability to be able to actually get money into real people's hands, it's taken apart pretty easily with this single tweet from David Sirota. You just used a voice vote to pass Donald Trump's bill giving large corporations $4 trillion. And yet now you're pleading poverty for workers at small businesses. So they've done all this for massive companies, not just, yes, obviously led by Trump and the Republicans, but Pelosi's Democrats, Schumer's Democrats have gone right along with it without actually fighting for real help for workers. I mean, $1,200, a one-time check, that's nothing. You look around the world, you look in Europe, you look in Canada, Canadians, yes, it's means tested, but most people that need the $2,000 a month that is offered by the CERB in Canada, you're able to get it. Now, if I'm doing a video on Canada, I'll have criticisms of our system and some issues with that. But comparing the U.S. to any of these other countries, you are so far behind in terms of the government actually offering people anything. And it's not just, David Sirota was in the Bernie Sanders campaign. He's a speechwriter, advisor for Bernie Sanders. It isn't just Sanders advocates saying the obvious. It's also people from NBC News. I thought he was on CNN. He may be on CNN sometimes. But Sahil Kapoor from NBC. Congress is not paying for any of these things. It is borrowing trillions of dollars at record low interest rates, I'll note, for all the coronavirus relief bills. What's included and excluded is a matter of policy preferences. So Sahil Kapoor of NBC News gets this. He's more to the left than Clyburn here. But there's actually finally some dissent within the Democratic Party. I covered this earlier in the week. Jayapal was behind closed doors, had a disagreement with Nancy Pelosi on the paycheck guarantee not being included in the Democratic bill. But she's been doing this, over and over. Jayapal rips Democratic COVID-19 bill, quote, doesn't end mass unemployment or ensure affordable health care for everyone. The historic crisis Americans are facing will not end on its own. To end it, these three things, getting people paychecks, ensuring access to health care, and supporting businesses and their workers are critical. But this legislation does not yet address them at the scale necessary. And look, this isn't even an issue. This isn't even an ideological disagreement. I mean, ensuring access to health care, that's not Medicare for all. That's ensuring access to health care. That can mean anything. And still, even with this, Pelosi still not on board for Jayapal's bill. Ro Khanna also with some dissent here as the Democratic bill expands COBRA benefits. The decision to extend COBRA benefits instead of providing the unemployed with Medicare or even ACA subsidies is economic nonsense. COBRA won't cover those who work for businesses that go under. COBRA is 25% more expensive than gold plans on the ACA and much more than Medicare. So the healthcare aspect of this, or lack thereof, in the bill, just another total, it really shows you how, I would say incompetent, but the Democratic leadership is fully aware of who they answer to. They answer to their wealthy donors. So they don't really care that working people, millions more over 30 million now? Over 30 million new people are newly unemployed Americans in the country. Millions of those had health care tied to their employer, no longer have that health care. So sure, they could buy into COBRA, but with it being 25% more expensive than gold plans on the ACA, and they don't have a job, how's that going to work exactly? I mean, anybody not arguing Medicare for all at this point, I don't even know what to say. It just shows you their pure corruption, because that's the only argument against it, is if you're corrupt, I guess you don't back Medicare for all, because there is no logical reason not to back it. How many times have I talked about healthcare on this channel? I'm in Canada. I have single-payer healthcare. It's fantastic. I have true freedom. Freedom of doctor. There's no in-network, out-of-network. It's a single-payer system. In a Medicare for all system, your Congress people, the wealthiest people in the country, would be on the same healthcare system as you. So how bad is it really going to get if the wealthiest people and your Congress people are on the same healthcare plan as you are? Freedom of choice when it comes to doctor, freedom of provider, freedom when it comes to your work. Say you have a job that you don't like, or you don't like your boss, or whatever it is. You want to change careers. You can leave your job. You still have healthcare. You can go back to school. You still have healthcare. You can start a business, hire people. They have healthcare and you have healthcare, and you don't have to do anything. Endless benefits to a Medicare for all system. But even in this pandemic, this massive crisis, the Democratic Party leadership still isn't fighting for it. Luckily, there are people like Ro Khanna, like Bernie Sanders, like AOC, like Rashida Tlaib, like Ilhan Omar, Jayapal at points, fighting for Medicare for all, but leadership is not. But here's what they are fighting for. This is in Pelosi's bill. House Democrats' new CARES Act proposal would expand PPP loan eligibility to all 501c4 and C6 groups with under 500 employees. 501c4s are essentially lobbying groups. So you have a lobbying group, don't worry. We got you covered. C6s are like chambers of commerce, it's like business leading groups. You got one of those? Don't worry, you're covered. But if you're just a person who lost your job and no longer has health care and doesn't have a paycheck coming in, oh well, you got $1,200. You get unemployment for whatever you have from that, and then you're done. That's it. Yeah. Just completely rigged and disgusting system.